Discussion about Trump's peace idea causes shock in the context of the Russia-Ukraine war that has lasted for many years. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's peace idea has once again caused fierce controversy. He affirmed that if he returned to the White House, he could end the war within just 24 hours. This strong, even somewhat shocking, way of speaking made the world curious. Does Trump really hold a key to peace in his hands, or is it just his familiar political style, noisy, bold but lacking specific details? First of all, it is necessary to see that Trump has always built the image of a different politician. While in office, he made surprising decisions. From withdrawing the U.S. from international agreements, putting trade pressure on China, to directly meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. For him, international politics should not be governed by rigid diplomatic frameworks, but rather by decisiveness and personal negotiations. Therefore, by saying that he can force Russia and Ukraine to the negotiating table, Trump wants to send the message that he, and no other leader, has the power to create a turning point. However, if examined closely, Trump's idea reveals many gaps. He does not specify how he will persuade Russia to make concessions, or what conditions Ukraine will accept. In other words, 24-hour peace sounds more like a political statement than a concrete plan of action. In reality, this conflict involves deep-rooted contradictions about territory, security, and international power. No commitment can be made and accepted in just one day, unless one side completely surrenders, which is unlikely. The most shocking point in Trump's argument lies in its pragmatism. He once suggested that Ukraine should be reasonable in order to maintain its existence, and that the U.S. could not continue to spend unlimited money on the war. That thinking, if it became a policy, could cause Kiev to lose the position it was trying to protect. On the other hand, many supporters argued that this pragmatism could help prevent a prolonged war that is eroding the global economy and pushing the world to the risk of nuclear confrontation. Interestingly, whether they agree or disagree, both schools of thought admit that Trump has touched on a core issue. The longer the war lasts, the more terrible the human cost will be. Europe faces the risk of recession, the people of Ukraine continue to suffer from bombs, and Russia must bear the burden of sanctions. Meanwhile, the US and the West are also wondering, should they continue to provide massive aid or find a way out of the quagmire? Trump, by delivering a word shock, forced the public to think about the ending scenario. Instead of just struggling with the question, when will we win? In short, Trump's peace idea is both bold and vague. It reflects his typical political style, making noise, attracting attention, but not necessarily feasible. However, it cannot be denied that his statement has sparked an important debate. The world needs a real solution to the war. Instead of just continuing to pump out weapons and aid, if Trump's words are considered a push for the parties to think more seriously about peace, then that shock, though unrealistic, is still valuable.